Hola, comadres. Kathy here for your Tuesday pep talk. Hope you're having a good day. Whatever's going on, it's only one day in your life. And sometimes what happens is we make one thing a really, really big deal that may not matter in the long run. One of the things that I've tried to connect with is the temporary nature of situations. When things are going rough, I might be in a season of difficult things. It won't last forever. The same thing is true when things are going happy, happy, joy, joy, that won't last forever. There'll be other things coming up. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about today is getting in touch with our feelings. I had something sad happened and I needed to feel the sad feelings. And it's important for us to name it, claim it, recognize it. When we don't name or claim our anger or our jealousy or even our sadness, it weighs more and it lasts longer. I think that's one of the realities when we're trying to stuff our emotions. One of the things that I was thinking about is just times when I'm disappointed in myself, when I think I should have done more, I should have done it better, I should have put more effort into that. And the reality is I only have 24 hours in a day. I do need to sleep. I do need to stop and I need to think. And sometimes I need to just reflect. And the reality is tomorrow's another day. And whatever I didn't get done today, guess what? It'll be there tomorrow. One of the things that I used to always joke with my mom about, she says, well, I left dishes in the sink. And I'm like, hey, Mom, you got a head start for tomorrow. You already have dishes. So tomorrow, when you wash dishes, it'll be more worthwhile because there'll be more dishes. I don't really recommend that stockpiling option for emotions that we need to express. One of the courses that I teach and that I've done a lot of personal work on is emotion coaching. And emotion coaching is about learning to recognize our feelings, process them, and release them without harming ourselves or others. And it all came from the framework of helping children to understand their emotions. So helping to name it and claim it. I can see that you're really sad about that. Instead of, well, you shouldn't be mad about that. The reality is we get to be how we are. We get to feel how we feel. And that extends to our children as well. When I'm sad about something, somebody else might be like, well, that's nothing to be sad about. I don't know why you're upset. And when I'm mad about something, somebody's like, well, that ain't nothing. Like the reality is, it is something. Like sometimes we say that our kids are crying for no reason. Here's the truth. They have a reason why they're crying. You just don't happen to agree with it. Like none of us gets to dictate the level. Neither the level of happiness, the level of sadness, the level of joy. I remember one time I was really excited because a grant proposal that I wrote was funded and we were going to do this project and I was real excited. And I was sharing this with somebody I know and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. We got $30,000 for this project. And I'm just like, I'm overjoyed. And they said, well, are you getting any money more money in your pocket? Is it coming into your pocket? So, if it's not going to change your income, why are you so excited? And I was just like, you know what? They just wanted to rain on my parade. Really, I think they just wanted to shit on my parade at that moment. But they don't get to say whether I should be happy or not happy. They don't get to say that's not worth you being joyful over any more than anyone gets to say that's not worth you being sad over. Or I don't know why you're mad about that. I don't know why you feel like that way. You're exaggerating. You're overreacting. The reality is we feel what we feel. Our emotions are going to go up and down like a roller coaster. And the reality is the only way you get hurt is if you jump off the ride. That's the reality with a roller coaster. We got to stay seated for the duration. And the reality in life, like what's going to keep me safe when my emotions are going up and down is my resilience practices. Having ways that I can express myself, having connections with people where I can just say, I'm really sad or I'm really mad or I'm really upset or I really feel left out, whatever it is that I'm feeling, having somebody that I can trust to talk to. And that has to start with me trusting myself. I can have the best comadres in the world. I can have the best familia in the world that I can talk to about anything. But when I talk to myself, if I'm not accepting what I'm feeling, I'm not going to be able to get what I need from anyone else. It has to start here. So when I talk about emotion coaching, it's about being able to process our own emotions. It starts here. Some of us really did not get a model as children of how to manage difficult emotions. We saw people who either throw things or broke things or shut down or, use the silent treatment, not knowing how to be healthy and express emotions. People who held back tears. I realize that it's really hard for me to express that I'm angry because I really try to avoid conflict. I believed for so much of my life that if you just be quiet and hold your breath, this storm will pass. And the reality is sometimes I've created the storm for myself because I didn't speak up. So emotion coaching, first place, it's about what's going on within me and how do I express that to the world. We can't really teach our children how to self-regulate or how to recognize their emotions if we can't recognize our own. I think for so long, the model that I got was life is hard, suck it up, keep it to yourself. I didn't share what I was feeling, so I didn't even see it myself. When we are become more vulnerable with ourselves and with others, we have a greater capacity. I realize I had empathy for other people who were struggling, but guess what? A lot of times I did not have empathy for myself. I was just like, well, you should know better by now. You should be able to do that by now. You should be able to manage that by now. Well, I can't believe you're still struggling with this. I wouldn't say that to someone else. I wouldn't say to someone else, well, you should be doing better than that. Oh my God, I can't believe that. But that's how sometimes I would talk to myself. I wanted to share something as we're talking, comadres. One of the things that I saw, sometime during the weekend, that somebody posted that they were having a challenge and they were looking at how do I get back to where I was? I don't have the same motivation. I don't have the same drive. I'm not able to do what I once could do. And that's a reality. Every day is going to be different. Your best is going to look different every day. Sometimes you're doing half of what you usually do and it's still pretty terrific. So one of the things that I shared, in responding to the person, because they say, well, why did I quit on myself? Why did I give up? The reality is sometimes we hit pause. Sometimes we are so emotionally drained that we hit pause. So this is what I posted this on my Instagram story, but I thought it might be something helpful to somebody who's watching right now. So, when we are disappointed in ourselves for some reason, this is my thought. You never quit on yourself. You just paused on the journey. We cannot keep up the same intensity all the time. One decision at a time, one step at a time, we can get back into rhythm. We're not necessarily going to get back into the rhythm we were on before. Okay? Sometimes we're trying to get back to a certain weight that we were or a certain something that we were. And the reality is we're never going to get back to something because we're moving forward. But when we look at get back into a rhythm, what is a rhythm that I can do that is helpful for me right now? Instead of thinking I have to do that rhythm that I could do before. Some of us that could do cartwheels before, maybe we can't do cartwheels now. Whatever it is, our life and our bodies change, our emotions change, our relationships change. Here's the other thing. To be worthwhile, you do not have to be on overdrive 24/7, 365, infinity and beyond. Yet sometimes that's what we expect of ourselves. We want to do it all. We want to have it all. We believe that I should be able to. Yet, we would not tell a comadre, well, you should be able to get all that done. You only have 3 kids. You only have 1 job. Would we say that? I don't think so. We wouldn't say that to someone else. So why are we saying it to ourselves? Nobody can sprint indefinitely. This is one of the other things that I wrote. There's times when we're in seasons and we're like, go, 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 go. And there's other times when we just have to take a pause. We're on a marathon. We're not on a sprint. The reality of life, whether you're working on raising your children, building your career, healing your own wounds. It's stop and start. It's pause and go. So, be gentle with yourself on the journey. None of us is going to get everything that we ever needed or wanted in one day. It's going to be a slow process day by day. But if I can look at where was I true to myself today? And for me today, I was true to myself when I sat there and I felt sad about a loss. I was true to myself because I didn't say, well, ni modo, gotta move on. The reality is I took some time to feel and process. And I don't get to put a timeline on feeling or processing. Sometimes people think, well, you should be over that relationship by now. You should be over that loss by now. The reality is there is no timetable on grief. And any type of a loss can bring grief out in us. We are moving forward, sometimes at a faster speed than others. Sometimes we'll have a period of growth, and sometimes we'll have a period of quiet. And I think even, when you look at agriculture, if they plant the same thing in the same field year after year after year, the soil gets depleted. Well, our soul can get depleted. It's, when we come in and we bring in new sources, new resources, when we connect with others, that's what I think is so valuable about things like the Comadre Connection, is that we're connecting with others who are also working on themselves and building and growing. I think if we can love and accept ourselves where we are right now today, we have more love and acceptance to give to others. We extend courtesy, we extend the benefit of the doubt to many, many people in our lives. How about today we extend that to ourselves? And we say, you know what? You're doing mighty fine. You might not be where you want to be, but you are not where you were. You are growing, you are glowing, you are moving forward in this life. You're not just clicking off the days. And I think that's the gift that we have when we're willing to invest and work on ourselves, is that we're willing to discover, we're willing to be vulnerable, and we're willing to take some time and say, I matter. My needs matter. How I treat myself is a reflection to the world of my value. If the world sees me as their doormat, then I have created the persona and I've created the perception. If I'm going to begin to have boundaries that I didn't have before, and I stand up and I say what I mean, and I mean what I say, and people don't like it, ni modo. That's where I say ni modo. If I'm growing and I'm changing and you don't like it, guess what? I'm going to run with a new pack. Because I don't need people who are bringing me down. I don't need people telling me you shouldn't be like this and you shouldn't be like that. I need to be who I am. I need to be how I am in this moment. And if you're down for that, for yourself, you're going to give yourself grace. You're going to give yourself time. And you're going to look and say, wow, I really am making progress. Hey, comadres, I hope you're having a good day. And if it's not your most favorite day ever, it's only one day. What can you do for yourself to make the rest of it a little lighter and a little brighter? I hope this pep talk gave you a couple of sparks. Hope to see you on Zoom. Hope to see you on the Comadre Connection. And in the meantime, remember, you're really terrific.